Hi, I'm Courtney McQuade with Markets Group here at our ALTS Chicago event. With me is Craig Slack, Chief Investment Officer for the City of Chicago. Craig, it's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be with you. It's a great conference.
So happy to hear that. So your role as Chief Investment Officer for the city is a little different than what some people might think. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I sure can. I am the Deputy Treasurer and Chief Investment Officer of the City of Chicago. There are three citywide elected officials for the City of Chicago, one being the mayor, one being the city clerk, and the third being the city treasurer. And so I report through the city treasurer. That role, I manage the city's investment portfolio, which is about $11.5 billion. And then we also sit as a function of our title, ex officio as trustee on the 4 city pension plans. So that's about another $10.5 billion. So kind of a unique role as both an investor and an allocator. So a couple of different hats that I wear.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I know you were telling me earlier you actually started your career on the sell side.
Yeah, I sure did. It's really interesting to be at a conference like this. I was on the other side of the desk for many years. I started my career on Wall Street for an investment bank by the name of Bear Stearns. I'm sure everybody knows that prior to the great financial crisis. But really in a distribution role for an investment bank. Covering middle markets clients. For the last 9 years of my tenure there, I ran their middle markets division. Really as a generalist in the fixed income space, really all public markets at that point. We're at an ALTS conference, so funny to be talking nothing about that. But after the financial crisis, which you all read about in the textbooks now, I went to RBC Capital Markets to start their middle markets division, and so did that for about 12 years. And then really had this itch to, before I was said and done, to sort of transition to the buy side of the business. I knew I had a set of muscles that I wanted to flex on this side of the business, and yet when you spend the majority of your career on the sell side, nobody really wants to give you a shot on the buy side. And I started interviewing and really putting my network together to accomplish that. And you had to sort of take a couple steps back to take a few steps forward. And somebody asked me if I wanted to interview for this role of Chief Investment Officer for the City of Chicago, and I first said, there's no way I want to do that. I never thought about working in the public sector. But the more I heard about the role, the more I thought, wait a second, this could be exactly what I want for the last stage of my career. And so when you think about it, to be the Chief Investment Officer for the third largest city in the country, manage a team of 7 great professionals, and then have a role of advisor and trustee on the 4 city plans was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up. And it's been a great opportunity. I've been doing it for about 4 years now, so it's been a great move. I actually wish I had done it earlier, so that's my one regret. So anyway.
Well, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of great work for them, not just in the portfolio and supporting the City of Chicago, but also the next generation. I just met your intern that you brought here as well.
Yeah, we really are fortunate. We get a number of great candidates through, usually most of them from University of Chicago. They're at Booth or at Harris School of Public Policy, and they're just if you think about what we're supposed to be doing in our careers with this business, it's really in my mind it's paying it forward and really becoming a mentor. And that's been one of the things that has been part of this role that I didn't really anticipate. But not being tethered to a commission desk and being accountable for every minute of my day and just really being on the firing line to produce revenue for your firm, you can really sit back and sort of allow those gifts to come to you. And as you said, I make these kids come with me everywhere I go, and really challenge them. They're invited to every meeting we have. I make them come in to the meetings with our banking partners and our broker-dealer partners, and I make them go to the pension fund meetings and make them come to meetings like this. So they're not just doing it, but I make them take notes. I mean, I really quiz them on what they learned, what they took away, and I ask them for their opinions on if we're making a decision on an asset, or a sector we're looking to invest in. For instance, we're starting to look at small business association loans, and Ray, the young woman that you met, did all the due diligence for me. So really put her to work and challenged her. So whether it be a capstone or just a conversation, or being involved in kind of their dreams and ambitions, it's a really fun part of this job.
That's a wonderful thing. And you're also helping them make some really meaningful connections.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, the one byproduct of being in this business for 20 to 30 years is that you do make some connections. I've been fortunate to only have a couple of lines on my resume, and so I think that tells me I'm doing something right. And so reputations in this business are long earned, but they're very quickly destroyed. And so being able to capitalize on some of those relationships that I've been able to build and allow that to sort of translate to the next generation has been very meaningful to me. And as I said, I can't tell you how many letters of recommendations I've written for business schools and continuing education, but it's been a joy to do. So yeah, really excited about it.
That's a wonderful thing, Craig. I love that to hear that. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being with you. Take care.
And we're at our ALTSCHI Chicago event.